So this is my beast for the day. I'm so excited. It is the red Ferrari Roma. This is a dream come true. I'm touring the Italian countryside and I'm already excited.
A turbocharged 3.9-litre V8 pushes the Roma to a top speed of 199 miles per hour. Hidden technology generates 95 kilos of downforce, sticking it to the road. And with the best power-to-weight ratio in its class, this is one of the most powerful GTs ever made. And today, Katie is taking it on a grand tour along the winding hills of northern Italy.
Here we go.
To see if it really is the definitive driving machine.
My first impressions of this car is amazing. I'm just touring around Italian countryside in a 620 brake horsepower Ferrari Roma. So that throttle response is instantaneous. It really is that sense of pinning you back in your seat. So a Grand Tourer car is something that is designed to be comfortable for long journeys, and it's also got the performance of a sports car combined with the comfort.
How have Ferrari created a continent-crushing supercar with enough luxury to keep drivers in for the long haul? The secrets lie in their Italian factory. Maranello in northern Italy has been home to the Ferrari factory for almost 80 years. In that time, it's grown from just a small workshop to spanning a whopping 165,000 square metres site. An army of over 4,000 work at this highly secretive manufacturer. Now we can enter to see just what it takes to build a supercar GT. The pressure is on for product director Emanuele Corrando and the team to make their latest GT the best in the world.
We try to challenge ourselves and strive for perfection every time. We want to put higher standards anytime we can. When you start driving it and you crank hard, you can really hear the sound of the engine, the music on the engine, and when you press the throttle, you have the full enjoyment.
It takes 3 months for the raw materials to be transformed into a luxury GT, rolling off the production line. All cars start at the goods-in area, where the materials have arrived from all over the world. But whereas many supercar makers build their cars with carbon fibre, here they use the same material they have used on their race cars for the last 80 years, aluminium. The Italian godfather of this $27 billion empire was Enzo Ferrari, who used this lightweight material to build their first ever car. In the 60s, he created the 250 GTO, which is now the most expensive car in the world. One recently went for $52 million. By the late 80s, they launched the iconic F40, which was at the time the fastest car ever made. And now they're returning to their GT roots. The aluminium chassis of the Roma will support 1.5 tons of supercar, and nearly a sixth of that weight will be the engine. Design engineer Francesco Strati knows just what it takes to power a GT.
This is the engine assembly department where all the Ferrari engines have been produced. Up here in Ferrari, we design and produce most of the parts of the engine. For example, we have the cylinder head, the block that is done in our foundry.
Their powerhouses start out here at the on-site metalworks. They're one of the only car manufacturers in the world to make their own engines on-site. Molten aluminium is heated to around 750 degrees Celsius. This metal is then cast to create the main parts of the V8.
This is the Ferrari Roma engine. It's 3.855 cubic centimeter. and it delivers a power of 620 horsepower, up to a maximum speed of 7,500 RPM.
The block is sent along the Roma's V8 assembly line of 50 stations. Employees at each work by hand on a single element, taking 1.5 days to complete just one engine. And out on the winding Italian roads, rally driver Katie is trying the V8 engine for herself.
When you floor it, wow, do you know that engine is there. The horsepower really kicks in and you can really feel it. It is an awesome feeling.
But it's no use having all this power if it can't be delivered. So the manufacturer has added another gear. The Roma has 8 in total, 3 more than an average family car.
I'm really enjoying this car to drive. It's so smooth. Changing up through the gears is a really gentle process. It's happening so quickly.
The secret behind this advanced engine system is that it's managed by unique computer software. Through the whole range of revs, it's designed to adjust the power evenly.
There's no lag between changing gear and having the performance of the car. It's something that they've really worked on for this model of the Roma. I actually think this is my first time driving a GT. You know, normally you're either used to the supercar that's the sports car, or you're used to, you know, your road car. This is a combination of the two. You're coming out into the open roads and you press the throttle and then you have the performance of the sports car.
Creating a supercar that on one hand has top-of-the-range speed and yet still is easy to drive requires years of development.
You have in the day-by-day usage, but if you push down the pedal, you really feel this kind of explosion in the engine.
With Grand Touring well and truly in their blood, expectations for Ferrari's latest GT are high. This supercar tops the timesheet at 199 miles per hour. Its V8 turbocharged engine is forged on site, sitting on top of an ultra-lightweight aluminium chassis. And inside the car, it's equipped with the latest technology, all to enhance the driving experience.
It's really a good piece of engineering, I would say. We did a really new state-of-the-art of technologies that we implemented in our engines.
The Roma might be pushing boundaries today, but there is one GT of the past that changed everything in the world of Grand Touring. Deep in the heart of rural England, vehicle engineering expert Titch Cormack is getting to grips with one of the greatest Grand Tourers of all time.
I never thought I'd get an opportunity to drive a vehicle like this. Sometimes you get in things and you're a little bit underwhelmed. That's not the case. Overwhelmed is the understatement.
This is a Series 1 Jaguar E-type, one of the most important GT cars ever made. Launched in 1961 with a reported top speed of 150 miles per hour, it was the fastest production car in the world.
Stand back. Here's another 4-litre costing under 2,000. Selecting gears like slicing butter.
Oh, it's that, baby! Now, back in the day, many of the road legal cars would only do 70 miles an hour, top end. However, the E-type Jag did twice that, 150 miles an hour. I mean, that's incredible. And you can feel it. This thing hauls ass.
The Jaguar E-type had it all: power, comfort and style. Even the godfather of the Ferrari Roma was blown away.
Enzo Ferrari, the founder of Jaguar's rival, called it the most beautiful car ever made. Now that's some endorsement.
And just like the Ferrari Roma, the secret to the E-type's phenomenal speed and acceleration lies in its outer appearance, just as much as in its mechanics.
Now, one of the real step forwards that Jaguar did with the E-type was get rid of the ladder frame, which enabled them to use this fantastic aviation-inspired bodywork, which gave it a real sleek aerodynamic look. The performance of the E-type came from the engine. Now this was a 3.8 litre, 6-cylinder twin overhead cam. Oh, it's a bit tight. Now look at that, an absolutely superb piece of engineering. It actually produced 265 horsepower. Imagine that, back in 1961.
Come for a trip in the surge of acceleration of a real man's motor car. 0 to 60, 7.4 seconds. One of the fastest production cars on the market.
At double the speed of a typical car and around half the price of some of its rivals, the E-type was a huge success.
It wouldn't be a GT without space for luggage, and the E-type has got oodles of it. Look at that. I've got a couple of bags that we can load her up, because I'm away for the weekend. I won't tell you where or who with. The door's beautifully made. It's fantastic. It's very simple. But why overcomplicate something? It's great.
But even further down inside the Series 1 lies another fascinating secret to its success that had never been seen on a Jaguar before.
Now, most cars of that era had a single beam axle on the back, which meant the suspension wasn't independent. So when it went over the roads, it would actually tip the car and roll it. So the handling wasn't very good. Now, Jaguar put on its own independent rear suspension, so the wheels operated on their own. Right. Now, if you look under here, you'll see 2 springs attached to this swing arm. There's one of these on each side, so they operate independently, and you have an independent drive shaft going to each wheel. This meant that the wheels could move over bumps and not affect the other side, which meant the handling was absolutely superb.
Jaguar's independent rear suspension system was such a success that it was used by the company on their subsequent Grand Tourers up until 1996, when more complex suspension units were being introduced.
Now, this car's 60 years old. However, if I put my foot down in this, she goes! Listen to that! Woo! It's absolutely brilliant.
The Series 1 was an enormous achievement for Jaguar, remaining in production for 14 years and selling more than 70,000 units, making it Europe's very first mass-produced GT sports car.
The impact of the E-type cannot be overestimated. It really is one of the most important cars ever made. And it's a huge game changer in GT cars. Not just in Britain, but over the entire world. For me, the E-type really is the quintessential British sports car. And it's just amazing to have the opportunity to drive it. This is absolute bucket list stuff. I love it.
GTs have moved on since the Jaguar E-type, but their ethos still remains.
You could probably take a Ferrari to a test track, but I actually think the best way to test a red Ferrari would be to go on the classic Italian roads. We've come out into the countryside, we're going past the villas, stopping for gelato.
Rally driver Katie Munnings is more used to muddy handbrake turns than meandering mountain roads, but she's instantly adapting to the GT lifestyle.
This is the best environment to get the whole experience, and that's what this car really gives you. It's not just a performance car, it's the kind of car that you'd want to go out for a Sunday drive with, you'd want to go to the shops with. It's comfortable, it's convenient, it's just a joy to drive.
As the GT shell moves through the factory, it gets a lick of paint. There are 25 colours, but there's one shade that's iconic. Rosso Corsa, translates as racing red. It's the historical colour of their Italian racing cars, and Ferrari say that the red represents their very lifeblood. As the outside of the Roma begins to take shape on the production line, the focus is now to create the best GT driving experience inside of the car. It's up to engineer Max Romani to get the balance of comfort and control just right.
We are responsible to define the complete user experience, starting from when you approach the car and when you are inside the car, everything that you do inside the car, the button that you touch, the experience that you feel.
To do that, he needs to observe a driver in action, and they don't even have to leave the factory.
We are able to measure it in this control room.
The manufacturer has built a top-of-the-range simulator to study driver dynamics.
We are testing the distraction of our driver during a normal drive on a street.
The simulator can replicate any environment and allows Max to monitor where the driver is looking via a special headset.
This red dot is the real point that the driver is watching in this moment. Every angle, so we can see he's driving, what he's doing on the steering wheel and in the car. And here, the most important thing, I think, is the measure of the distraction.
This vital data tells them how to build the optimum GT cockpit with the aim of keeping the driver's eyes on the road.
If you permit to our driver to remain concentrating on the drive, your hands on the steering wheel and your eyes on the street, you can really feel all the emotion of the drive.
And out on the Italian Alpine roads, Katie is getting to experience the effect of all of this cutting-edge technology inside the supercar.
Ferrari are really thinking about the experience of the driver. You know, you're taking in the scenery, you're watching the road, and it's bringing that back. Your focus is back on the road.
To keep the driver's hands on the wheel, the car's main commands are actioned by touch controls.
It's just literally everything that you need to have a really comfortable ride within the touch of your fingers.
At the factory, they're faced with a complicated balancing act.
The most advanced technology is a car which is able to accomplish the desire of a beauty seeker, but also a performance seeker who wants to drive a Ferrari every day in full comfort, but can also get the power and the speed, the energy of a real sport car.
Under the bonnet of this auto sits a handmade turbocharged 3.9-litre V8 engine. The steering wheel has touch controls built in to manage elements of the car. And an 8-speed gearbox provides instant throttle response with 0 to 60 in just 3.4 seconds. But with such power available on the throttle, what is the secret to being able to stop when you hit the brakes? At AP Racing, based in Coventry, they specialise in creating disc brakes for other high-end supercar manufacturers around the world. No one knows better than engineer Harry Pick the challenges of slowing down a GT supercar.
Disc brakes are fundamental to stopping vehicles. A disc brake gives you superior performance to a conventional drum brake, which was used in lower duty cycle applications. So absolutely for GT cars, really important to be able to give you the performance of the brake system that you need.
When the disc brake system is engaged, brake pads inside of the calipers grip the disc, decreasing the rotation of the spinning wheel, slowing the car down.
We're in our caliper assembly area. This is a traditional method of assembling calipers, so it's fairly labour intensive. Everything is done by hand.
The calipers are the part of the brake system that grip onto the disc.
This is a two-piece caliper, so the two caliper halves, the raw material is bolted together to create a structure.
For the caliper to be able to squeeze the brake pads, it needs a piston to bring them together.
Our operator is just pushing the pistons in by hand to make sure they're located properly within the caliper body. This is a hand process that he's putting on. This is not exactly state of the art, but this is kind of good to show the manual process of it. So now the caliper's in two halves, what we need to do is bolt them two together. Our operator's just going to show us how we do this. A Loctite's applied, so this is a strengthening agent on the threads of the bolts so they don't come loose when they're in operation. So we're tightening them up.
But to stay ahead of the curve, the team combine hand building with a one-of-a-kind production line.
This is a state-of-the-art facility. Nowhere else in the world has this type of machinery and equipment. In terms of a caliper assembly line, this is the best you can get. This assembly line, the caliper output of this is about 40,000 calipers on a single shift.
The calipers now need a perfectly flat disc to grip onto, which will be mounted onto the wheel.
So we're looking at the mounting bell and the brake disc itself coming together and being bolted to create a component. So it's a crucial part of the assembly process.
Human muscles simply cannot tighten the mounts to the required torque.
It's crucial to control the tightness of these joints because we obviously don't want them coming loose on the vehicle.
These disc brakes are the secret to making a Supercar GT slow down. As the brake pads are fully engaged, they generate temperatures nearing 500 degrees Celsius. But Harry and his team have ways to keep the brakes cool.
As you can see, it's got the vein pattern through the middle of the disc here. It's to allow the air to flow through the middle of the disc. This keeps the disc surface cool and doesn't affect the braking performance.
Now the team need to try and break the brake. They'll test the ventilated brake disc by fixing it to a powerful dyno and running it under race conditions.
With the simulation that we're going to run it through, it's going to be quite an intensive circuit simulation. You can already see the temperatures of the disc rising during a stop, so it's just getting up to a speed limit now, and then we apply the brakes. Vehicles are probably hitting 150 miles an hour at this stage. Pretty impressive when you're thinking that's stopping a 1.5-ton vehicle. Test is finished. We'll now do like a visual inspection check of the disc, make sure it's okay. At one stage it was hitting about 850 degrees centigrade, so pretty high, before anyone else has got to see it as well. So before the customer's seen it, we know what the brake disc is how it's going to perform, we know how it's going to cool, we know how effective it's going to be. So it's a really exciting moment for the first time when you're testing a new product and a new project, to be able to see it perform on the dyno.
The team now know that this model of brake disc can perform under pressure.
We've finished the assembly, we've finished all the test items. Our finished disc and bell assembly has come off the production line, and we're about to just box it into a box and ship it onto a wagon ready to be shipped around the world.
Back at the Ferrari factory, the technicians fit their version of the vented disc brake to the Roma. And on this GT, they take it one step further. Engineered by Brembo, they've employed carbon ceramic disc brakes, creating enhanced braking. A technology developed with their Formula One racing team. Rally driver Katie Munnings is out on the winding roads of northern Italy, putting the Roma's disc brakes to good use.
The track side of the GT comes out in things like the braking system. So it's a ventilated system, but they can perform at higher temperatures. And I've been doing a lot of hairpins today, and as a driver, even when I feel like I'm coming in a bit too fast, I can slam the brakes on and still get that immediate response.
The ventilated disc brakes and handling combined allow the driver to remain in control of the GT. But when driving for hours on a long grand tour, you also want to be comfortable. And there is a secret to Ferrari's supercar seats. Special leather is made using full-grain hides from cold climate cattle. The material is vacuum dried, creating a tough finish. This means the material is strong with minimal flex, something vital for hours spent behind the wheel. Everything from cutting the finished leather to hand stitching is all done by Ferrari's workers on site at the factory, as they try to create a GT superseat.
One of my favourite features. I've been playing with the seat, and you can actually adjust each individual cushion and panel to kick into your lumbar spine or wrap yourself around the edges, and I think that's a really comfortable thing to have. I never really thought about that before as a feature in a car, but I guess for a long journey that makes a massive difference. It's the iconic Ferrari, the sleekness of it, the smooth lines. Actually, I think they're calling it the Nuove Dolce Vita, which means the new sweet life.
Built at their North Italian base, each Roma takes 3 months to be completed.
We are performance focused, so we should keep the performance as the main driver and trying to find the right balance between what we would like to do from an engineering point of view in matter of performance and the aesthetical point of view of the vehicle.
The Roma features 2 8-inch displays to form a new human-machine interface. 4 driving modes are utilised to ease driving in different conditions. And a 272-litre boot allows enough room for weekend luggage.
So our customer can really push down the pedal, trying to feel this kind of emotion, but never to be scared by too many powers that you could have. So this is really the target of this kind of GT.
But what happens if the GT philosophy of high speed and comfort is turned on its head to create something else entirely? In Miami, extreme car collector, enthusiast and customizer Elo is taking in some of the beauty of his own collection.
So, I want to welcome you guys to Supercar Rooms Miami. This is my playground, and this is where I keep my best of the best toys.
His collection consists of over 150 cars and is worth in excess of $12 million. But it's a GT that forms the centerpiece of his extreme machines.
The one and only Lamborghini Espada Rat Rod, built by Denton Customs. It is one of the most beautiful road art pieces you could ever lay your eyes on.
Rat rod culture followed on from the hot rods of the 50s and 60s. Rat rod enthusiasts adapted their cars to replicate these iconic hot rods, but with a twist. They chose to make them look unfinished. Now Elo has put this style onto a Grand Tourer famed for its practicality and created a monster.
It has the original Lamborghini motor, original chassis. The cockpit and the body is actually the car. It was lowered 2 inches, and you could see the front. It's just wild.
Taking 8 months to complete, this car was built on the platform of a 1968 Lamborghini Espada. Originally, it was the Italian brand's first true 4-seater GT, exhibiting a perfect fusion of sportiness, comfort and convenience.
It's one of the most simple but most beautiful cars you could put your eyes on. I'm gonna jump in it.
The original Espada was built to be accessible.
We're taking this bad boy out for a drive.
However, this rat rod conversion is anything but.
It's the ultimate rat rod in the world, but someone said it is actually living on the edge of insanity. And I tell you why it's a nightmare. It's all muscle, very little comforts, manual, 4-speed, and a monster. It is super low, super wide, and super cool. That I can tell you. And here we go. 3 3.9-liter V12 monster of a motor. This motor ended up being used over 50 years. Got smiles going from here to here. Isn't that amazing? Vision is absolutely zero. Who cares about vision when it's super duper cool?
This conversion goes against the very concept of a Grand Tourer, a car traditionally built for long-distance driving, comfort and practicality.
This is not just a car, it is an absolute beauty. More importantly, people thought we were crazy. They called us all kinds of names. Most people want these cars to technically restore them, but guess what? What's the point of owning a car when you can't put your own identity on it? We decided to keep the motor up front. This is the original motor, pumping out 350 brake horsepower. We did a custom exhaust manifold, custom front chassis, custom nose.
Even the wheels have been taken to an impractical extreme, increasing the car's width by over 2 feet to just over 8 feet. Rather tricky on narrow streets.
The wheels are T6 forged aluminum, custom built wheels protruding out of the body.
Estimated to be worth $750,000, this car is truly one of a kind.
The most important part is it is a reflection of what the car was. As a matter of fact, guess what? It's the only supercar ride rod in the world. If you don't know that, now you know. This is the only supercar ride rod in the world. Boom!
Back on the winding roads of northern Italy, Katie is driving a more complete supercar.
It's quite simple when you look at it, really, but I think the simplicity in the panels, there's no harsh edges. I know that the designers worked so long on creating this really smooth appeal that actually it's reminiscent of the 50s era road cars, but also is combined with the latest high-tech aerodynamics. They've created a masterpiece here. It is like artwork.
How did Ferrari build a GT that's comfortable and practical, and weighing nearly 1,600 kilos, still remains fast? Towards the end of the production line, engineers fit crucial aerodynamic components to ensure this supercar stays on the road. And it's up to performance manager Matteo Biancalana to streamline this GT.
Everything on the front is designed to reduce the drag on the car, the shape, the rounded shape of the front fenders, and even the particular shape of the front lights are designed to reduce even the last mils of drag.
The front of the Roma isn't all about the looks. They're also aiming for optimum efficiency.
And we spend a lot of time into the wind tunnel to optimize exactly the shape of every single holes. It was really difficult to set up perfectly the shape.
This problematic piece of design needs to suck in enough air to keep the V8 cool. And it has another job, to channel air beneath the car. For the first time ever on a GT, are a pair of something called vortex generators.
It's very difficult because the front radiators evacuate the heat on the ground, so on the floor of the car. So it's very difficult to have a clean flow beneath the car to use all the potential, the full potential of the vortex generator. You have to be very detailed in shaping the vortex generators.
They manage the air wake of the front wheels to ensure efficient load generation on the rear. Sticking the car to the road, improving handling and the driving pleasure.
So you have to be very clever and to do an optimization work in the wind tunnel to make them work properly.
The vortex generators suck the front of the car down onto the road, but at the back there is another aerodynamic secret: a hidden rear wing. This only engages at speeds of over 60 miles per hour to create the downforce required. Back on the open road, Katie is putting this important driving aid to the test.
I'm going to try and accelerate to bring it up, but actually it only comes up halfway at that speed, and then you'd really have to be on a track to take it up to the full potential.
When braking, the spoiler takes on a more aggressive angle of attack, effectively acting as an air brake, delivering maximum downforce for both safety and performance.
That just brings the whole aerodynamic system into equilibrium. It's an automatic system, so it's not something you can control manually as a driver.
The wing is able to generate 95 kilograms of downforce automatically. Then when the speed drops, the wing disappears from view.
The designers and the engineers have worked together here to create a really sleek car, which when you think of airflow, when you think of aerodynamics, you want to be creating as least friction as possible. So this curvature is creating an attached flow over the top of the car, which means that there's no harsh barrier. The air is creating this solid stream which just flows over the roof of this car.
Ferrari have given the Grand Tourer the supercar treatment.
The Roma is raising the stakes for the GTs of the future because there's no compromise anymore. There's no compromise on the performance of the sports car.
Combining groundbreaking technology with a nod to the past, they've created the ultimate GT.
We've proved today how amazing it is to drive, the features of it, the acceleration, the power, the aerodynamics, the downforce, the active rear wing, everything comes together to create this amazing sensation as a driver.
With just a few thousand Romas being sold across the world each year, Ferrari's latest offering is anything but run-of-the-mill. And with a fully spec'd model costing £250,000, this hand-built supercar GT will be a rare sight out on a Grand Tour.
Everything is a kind of puzzle that match together in order to produce emotion when you drive the car. This is really, I would say, the magic we have in our job and the reason why we put so much effort on doing it.